welcome back to Couch Radio. We're here with our special guest, Tim Presley.
Tim Presley is widely regarded as one of the coolest guys living, so it was like super cool for us to get him on the podcast here. I actually met him last year at Levitation, or this year, I guess. And it was really cool because a lot of times you might meet somebody that you know from the internets or TikTok or whatever, and they're not as cool as they seem, but he was just super cool and genuine and really nice, so that was awesome. So, and which is great because, I mean, I love his music, and I would fully recommend listening to I Have to Feed Larry's Hawk.
Check out him on Spotify or any other musical platform. Type in White Fence and listen to the whole discography. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all.
All right, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, my name is Shelby, and I'm with my homeboy Josh, and we're in a band called First Names, and we live in Austin, Texas, and we have an overwhelming internet and social media presence that Josh will tell you about.
It's at First Names Music on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Shroob and I are always posting some dumb shit, and we have a lot of fun with it. So it's at First Names Music, but there's a big shortcut to all the music videos and podcasts. It's at our website,
firstnamesmusic.com.
All right, here we go with our sponsors. First sponsor?
O'Brien's Canned Chili.
Nope. Try it again.
Baby Bell Spherical Cheeses.
Delicious, yet incorrect. One more time.
Waterloo Records.
Waterloo is the best record shop in town, maybe the world. So check it out at waterloorecords.com. Check out Couch Radio for 10% off.
Are you looking for a drug that helped build the Americas and is also legal? Coffee, baby. And where's the best place to get that? Monkey Nest.
That's right. Shop local. Also, you can shop Austin local from anywhere because you can order that shit online, baby.
That's right. Are you in Russia? Do you like coffee? Do you like paying exorbitant shipping fees? Monkey Nest Coffee. But yeah, seriously, it's a super cool spot. And I think when everything opens back up from this COVID stuff, Josh will be there waiting in line to cut the reopening ribbon.
This is probably accurate. But without further ado, we have Tim Presley on the podcast, Shelby.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite interviews so far.
Yeah, so let's get to it.
Hey, yeah, we didn't know you're there. We can't see you.
I can't see me either. Hold on. Start video. Here we go.
Oh,
There it is.
like magic.
So how are you doing, man?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing good.
Doing well.
Are you in like around LA right now?
No, I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You're from San Francisco originally, right?
Yeah. And then I lived in LA for like 11 years and then just moved back here like 2015, I think.
Oh, okay.
When everyone moved to LA, I moved back.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually going to say something about that because it's interesting. It seems like, I mean, some sort of art explosion of San Francisco and then this like mass migration of like, I don't want to like put anybody in a box, but like psych rock style kind of moved down to LA, and then yeah, now you're back in San Francisco.
Yeah, I did the opposite.
Yeah.
Well, actually, and when I first moved to LA, everyone from San Francisco talked mad shit on LA. So I always felt like I had to keep like I don't know, like sticking up for it. And then years later, they all moved down here. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a funny world.
What made you move back?
Well, it was kind of, that's a loaded question. There's a lot of reasons.
Okay.
Yeah. But mostly just for me and my like well-being, I guess.
Gotcha. So you grew up in San Francisco then?
Yeah, like technically 15, 20 minutes south of here, of San Francisco, in San Mateo.
Oh, okay.
But as soon as I was, 18 or whatever, yeah, I lived in San Francisco.
Yeah, that seems like a wild place to grow up, even near. Like, I've only been to San Francisco once, but it just seems like the most like compact, culturally, and like just everything. Just like there's so much there. I just can't really imagine like growing up and being in that. I mean, do you think that influenced your
Yeah.
art moving forward?
Yeah, I think it was good, especially with music early on, like being in like the punk and hardcore scene, and like going to like, I feel like it was like a common thread that bound like all the like-minded teenagers together, whether they were like super punk kids or skaters or whatever. I think it was this good, thing. And then going to Gilman Street in Berkeley. Are you familiar with that?
No, I mean I've been to Berkeley, but I don't know anything about it. I was there one time, so.
Where are you guys right now?
We're in Austin.
What is this? What am I doing? What is this?
Yeah. Sorry, we're a lot of times we just jump into it. We're like over eager, but this is you're on. This is Couch Radio, and it's a podcast that we started to kind of con artists into talking to us, and so we live in Austin though right now. We live in Austin, Texas.
Oh, cool. I love Austin.
Yeah, man. I actually I met you briefly because I saw you play in November at Levitation, and
okay.
yeah, I saw you guys like hanging out, and I don't know, like a lot of times I find it like that I try to like, because I really enjoyed your set, that's why I went up and said something, but like a lot of times I feel like I kind of shy away from like saying what's up to people, because I don't know, it just seems like weird, and it's like, what am I gonna say? Hey, I liked it, and then they say like, great, but I gotta give you props, man, because I just remember telling Josh, I was like, man, I met Tim Presley and the White Fence guys, and they were so nice. Like, they were just so cool. So, like, you left a positive imprint on me. Is that something you even think about doing?
That's
or
good.
Is it just that's your normal?
I mean, I don't think about doing it, but I think it's wise to do that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's interesting, right? Like, from a fan's perspective, all it takes is just a small amount of kindness, and then I'm bought in,
Oh, dude, totally. I mean, I feel that way about people in general.
Yeah.
You catch more flies with honey than spit,
That's great.
Yeah, it's so true, man.
Yeah, I mean, Shelby.
But also, it's like, I don't know, like, people who are dicks, like, it's like, that must be fucking miserable, being a dick all the time. Don't you think?
Yeah, man. And I feel like that's why they're dicks. Like, hurt people,
Yeah, that must suck to be them.
Yeah, Shelby tells me all the time. He's like, I try to be nice to everybody. He goes, but any stranger's just like a little nice to me. And I'm like, they're a great guy, or that's a great person.
Yeah, I used to have this thing where I would love meeting fucking like strangers, and if they were nice, it made my fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're at like the DMV and someone was like, hey man, you want to see,
Yeah, a little bit goes a long way.
Yeah, it doesn't take much
It
at all.
does, it does. That's why it's so fucking crazy that the world is so angry, because, outside of this pandemic or whatever, like, with the elections and all that, it's just so funny that it's like people are so fucking angry with their computers, but if you saw them on the street, you could have dialogue and everything would be cool.
Dude, that's so true. Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing, man.
And it's like a small amount too. Like, it's not going to take it's just interesting, even like in the wake of the pandemic or whatever we're in right now. Even it's almost like opened people up to, like, if I'm like walking the dog, it seems like if people are out in their yard, they're like more likely to say like, "Hey, what's up?" And
yeah, because we're humans, man,
Yeah, right. You need it.
You need it. And you're right, a little bit goes a long way. Like, you don't have to be a politician, to get your point across. You just have to say hi.
Right.
Be nice. Maybe a wink. something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Going back to you growing up a little bit, what was it that first like made you really want to play music?
Um, I have no idea. I think being a fan of music at a young age made me want to. And I had a friend who was pretty gregarious and really enthusiastic about playing the guitar. So this is like around the time of like Nirvana, you know, like 91, 92 or whatever. So he was really keen on like learning the songs, and so then I did, and then that becomes kind of addicting, and then you know you start learning like Sex Pistols songs or Ramones songs and stuff, and it just kind of like snowballs into playing music, I guess.
Yeah.
Because once you get good enough to do a fucking bar chord, you're good to go. You know, you could be in a band.
Right. That opens the door. I mean, Josh, he like
Yeah.
taught me guitar, and that's so true, man. Once you learn like those two formations of bar chords, you can play so much shit.
Yeah.
What was you said you were a big fan of music growing up? Was a lot of like cool music played around the house? Like what was played around the house when you were growing up, or what was the first song that maybe like you weren't like, oh, this is just a song playing. Like this is a song that's kind of doing something to me. This is something that's like I'm really in love with.
Like music around the house, like my dad would play like Bob Marley, right? Or like Paul Simon, right? Yeah, like some dad shit. But I liked it, you know? But like the first shit that I really felt was it was similar. I had the same feeling about the same in the same time, and it was Guns N' Roses' first album, Appetite for Destruction, and Easy Does It. They were like the same time ish and same impact. Because I'm probably older than you guys, so Guns N' Roses was fucking cool, man.
Dude, I hear
For 1 second.
Yeah.
I hear Appetite for Destruction, like I feel like that hit a lot of people, man. Like so many artists, especially, like I hear reference that particular record.
Yeah, it's weird. I like it gave me chills, man. It was like the coolest thing I've ever heard. I mean, I was also 9. So.
Yeah. Dude, I saw Guns N' Roses here last year, and just what a wild, just even from watching them live, it's like these guys, man, turkeys. I feel like Axl, like in a good way, but like they like I just remember like at one point he was wearing like one particular cowboy hat and then like this other like flannel, and then he went back for a wardrobe change, but all he did was like he changed the flannel color from like red to blue and then put on a different cowboy hat, and like it was like part of the show.
He's basically like Lady Gaga at this point.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a brief moment in time, yeah. Guns N' Roses were it for me.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Speaking of like wardrobe changes and stuff, though, I kind of like read about like you like, you know, donning some different stuff, like rocking the white face paint, and then having like your crew wearing like the monk Jedi hoods and that kind of stuff. Like, what drew you to?
That was for one tour.
Yeah, what drew you to do something like that? Like as far as like, oh, we're gonna do something specific.
I think it was Kate's idea, Kate LeBon, because
Okay.
she was in that band at that time, and I was doing the Wink album, and yeah, I don't know why that happened. I think when you're on tour, sometimes you get bored, and you're in the van for hours and hours, and you just kind of, or you get backstage and you're like, hey, fucking put this on, you know?
Right.
It was like one of those, but it stuck and it came together really quick. Plus, I like the way the face paint looked, you know?
Yeah.
It made it a little more theatrical.
Yeah, sure. That's interesting. Because I
Or
think
something.
yeah, people kind of talk about that. Like, I mean, we play in a band here, and like eventually, sometimes you're like, I don't know, like you just be driving to a gig and be like, I mean, should we wear something different besides jeans and a t-shirt or not? Like, you know?
Yeah.
I think it just kind of.
I mean, the funny thing about that is that out of all the years I've seen bands, like, sometimes it so fucking matters. It matters so much. And then other times it doesn't. Like, I've seen the best bands, like, wear nothing but, like, yeah, jeans and a t-shirt, you know? And they just get her done. It's like, you know, but then sometimes you'll see a band with, like, a lavish to-do, and it looks fucking amazing, you know? So, I don't know. It's all good, I guess. But when it doesn't work, it's really bad. Like, a band really dressed up and they suck, it's like, fuck you. And it, like, and then sometimes if it's a band with just jeans and a shirt, or fucking, God forbid, wearing shorts, like, and they suck, it's like, dude, you guys need to go home, you know? Right. So, I don't know. It's all good. You just gotta be yourself, I guess. Just do it.
Yeah, man. I feel like the only dude who like anytime I go, I agree about, like, I see someone wearing shorts, it's like they have to earn it. But like, it's like, what, like John Dwyer, that dude wears cut off denim shorts every time I ever see him.
Oh yeah,
and he pulls it off,
I have
man.
to say, he's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
He is literally the only person who can wear shorts on stage.
Right. I don't think if you saw, like, I don't even know, like, just some legend, like, I don't know, like, come out there and they're rocking, like, denim shorts. I don't know. Most of the time I'd be like, oh, whoa, what happened? But yeah, man, he slays it every time.
Yeah, he does. Girls can wear shorts. That's a good look.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's so easy to get caught in it.
Dudes wearing shorts is weird.
Yeah. Just baggy Echo shorts. I think that's what we're going to wear next time.
Yeah, or just sick-ass cargo shorts.
Right.
And little pockets for their picks and stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to get the jeans that halfway through the show, as a spectacle, as a part of the show, I would unzip the jeans into shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring
those back.
Okay, well, we started this little bit, and I was fully off shorts, but now I've bought into shorts. Shorts only now.
Okay.
So we went to, we talked about you starting to play guitar and, like, kind of learning some covers and learning what your friend learned. But when did you start, like, songwriting for yourself, or maybe for a band you were in? Like, when did the songwriting process start, and how has that kind of changed over time?
Well, I guess I started a band, right? When I was younger, and then we just played covers because that's all we knew. I think, you know, it was like Sex Pistols and Ramones songs, and then we were like, we should learn songs. I mean, we should learn how to write songs, or we should write songs. So then I kind of like was like, fuck, what do I do? I think I totally ripped off a song, you know, to get me started, you know, and then tried to pretend like it was mine. I don't know. It's just, it was like a learning experience. I don't know how, I don't know, just years of doing it. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Well, like, it was a big deal for me when I learned the different parts of a song. Like, I listened to music differently once I started writing songs. I was like, oh, this is called a verse. Oh, this is called a chorus. Oh, it changes 3/4 of the way through a lot of times when I'm listening to songs. I guess that's called a bridge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been with this guy writing songs for like years, and it's just, we literally knew nothing. We're from Indiana, and like nothing's going on. And there was no one telling us how to write songs. And I just didn't know if, like, did you listen to them?
That's why, you gotta, like, resort to records you like, and then they'll teach you how to write songs. I guess that's what I'm saying, too. Yeah.
What were some of the records you were listening to that you were trying to, like, learn from?
Well, I had a wide variety, but I remember this now that we were talking about it. I remember thinking, and this still fucking affects me today, like, how important, like, the very first verse is sounding, because I got that from Minor Threat, and how, like, immediately you're drawn in, you know, like, immediately it's like, oh my god, this song fucking rules, you know, and that's the verse. So I always, even now, I think the verses have got to be, they can't just be like the place setting for the chorus, you know? So it kind of flipped my thinking, like, I feel like the impact of the verse is almost more important than the chorus, in my mind, because of, like, punk songs like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting, man. I mean...
And then I've had to, like, unlearn that, you know, throughout the years, because it's like, oh, shit, choruses are very catchy, and that's why people re-listen to songs, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard.
So that's interesting. As far as, like, it seems like bands that start as like, you know, start off learning by covering, it seems like that might be like one of the biggest songwriting tools there is, by just learning other songs, and then like you just inherently learn how songs go, and then stuff like that might seep in, like, oh man, like,
it's kind of like anything, right? It's like learning guitar, you know, like right. It's the same as learning guitar or learning how to swim, you know,
right?
Basically.
It feels like one of those weird things, though, almost, where it's like, where is my resource for learning how to write a good song that I can like? It almost feels like that doesn't even exist. Like, you're just like, listen, young Padawan, go out and search and figure out how to write a song. Like, it's almost like no one can really tell you how to write a White Fence song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's why if you ask great songwriters why they, you know, they like listen to Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, and like shit like that, you know, like, because they're somewhat of like the master. They're in like the master tier,
right?
So that's their kind of like guidebook, I would assume, you know.
Yeah. Pay attention, I guess.
Does that relate to what? Like, does that also relate to how you learn production? Because I'm like a big fan of your production, and I just wondered like how you went. Like, what was the challenges you went through, like putting all that together, and just learning all your tips and tricks and building your arsenal.
It just like I've never up until like the White Fence records, I don't think I've ever been satisfied with anything like this sound, like the production of anything. Mm-hmm. And like it's not a diss on anything I've done before. It's just like it's more like I know. I always knew that it could be better, like somehow, and I just didn't know how to achieve that at all. Like I didn't know, like, and I used to think like, well, let's just copy what this other record sounds like, you know, like A, B, and see if they sound similar. But that never works, you know. And yeah, it did. So it took me a long time of nerding out at home.
Yeah. With
like 4-track and using pedals and EQ, and I don't know. It took forever.
Yeah.
For me personally to find it, yeah.
Yeah, so tell me if my research is incorrect, but you on your own records, I think I saw that people will help you with the production of your own records, like, you know, Ty Segall and Kate LeBon have both worked with you in producing of your own records. How, I mean, are those people that, like, I mean, obviously you've collaborated with both of them. Are those just like, oh, I trust both these people, so, you know, like, you're kind of easy to...
I think the only reason I'm able to do that is because I felt confident on my own, and I could bring that to the table with them, because they're like people who have found it already. Like, they know what they're doing. You know, they're good, and they know exactly what they want to sound like here. You know, like, they know exactly how to apply that.
I see.
So I think I built up enough confidence to be like, where we can work together, we both feel good about sounds and all that.
Yeah.
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 Did you say the first, like, White Fence album was like the first time that you felt like happy with your results as a producer?
Yeah, I guess so. It's funny to think of being produced even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, just because I did it alone, and I mean, looking back, it could sound a lot better, that record. And but at the time, I was pretty stoked on the sound of it.
Were you recording it all on like 4-track and stuff?
Yeah.
And then what do you do now? Are you still recording tape, or have you gone digital a little bit?
Yeah, a little digi with the last record was digital, I think. I think all of it was. The
Okay.
Larry Sock one.
Yeah. Speaking
Yeah.
about that record particularly, it's like that record to me, like once I dive into it and I give it the opportunity to take hold of me, it seems like it just pulls you deeper down into the rabbit hole. Like the more time you give it, the more it sucks you in. Is that something that you think about when writing, or is it just like, oh, I don't know, this is just what oozes out of me?
No, I think about that because I've spent so many hours like being a fan of albums, you know, not songs.
Right.
Like there was a moment where I wouldn't buy a record unless I thought that it was like a deep cut like record, you know? Like
Right.
it was like the opposite of a singles collection, you know?
Yeah.
And like those type of albums, I don't know, meant a lot to me because, you know, I'd just be like smoking weed and painting and like every song is like good or deep cut. That's why like the Kinks are so good. Or like Love, you know, like those types of like records where maybe they're not singles, but they're all good songs, you know?
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to achieve that, or at least like try to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like a slow burn, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, man. That's how it felt to me. It almost felt like if I listened to like I guess like krautrock or something, where like it's just like this
Yeah.
trancey, like boom, 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 and like 8
Yeah,
minutes in,
exactly,
you're
yeah.
just like hooked. That's what it felt like to me.
That rules, man. That's exactly what I mean too. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's the crowd shit, like just like put that album on and repeat for like 4 hours, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's all, yeah. Yeah, so like that type of album, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Which is a funny thing to try to do in this day and age, I feel like.
definitely, man. We were
Yeah,
just
we were just
talking
talking
about
about
that,
that. Yeah.
about how like that
Yeah.
really juxtaposes like what kind of might be expected from somebody in this current musical landscape of like, okay, give them the hook right away, and we're gonna release a single
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. But it almost feels like a great answer to all that's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell if I'm like extremely stubborn about keeping on trying to do that. But I can't help it, you know?
Yeah. Well, shoot. I mean, well, we appreciate that you did it. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like we need
I
it.
think there's a lot of people out there that still do like appreciate long form listening, and like I feel like especially you have such a fan base that it's like people are going to listen to it, you know, and have that take the time on it. I think you're
That's
trusted.
cool.
You're so like trusted already that people know it's not just it's going to take you somewhere, and it does. So I think you
cool.
definitely over here in our corner you achieved your goal.
Thank you. That rules.
Yeah, man. Sorry, I just wanted to ask you. I guess I just wanted to make sure I talked about it. Like, you're really into like painting and that other type of physical art. I'm a little curious. It seems like just your brain is a little bit like, man, I just have this like stuff inside me, and it almost feels like you got to get it out. Is that a thing is that how art is for you, or is it just like, oh, I just enjoy it, man? I just, makes you feel good.
Yeah, it's kind of the former, where like it's just I don't know, it just kind of pops out. It's just like in my brain, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely, I know this by now that it's not a hobby, you know. Like it's almost like something I need to do.
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm like pretty unhappy when I can't do it.
Okay.
I guess. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just one of those things. I was thinking about it a while ago about like the psychology of that, and I think like I remember being a kid and just going in my own little corner and like drawing, even in my teenage years and stuff like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just like some safe escape or some shit. You know, I don't know. But it's definitely in my DNA.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. I feel like it's like it almost feels like people who are like into that, it's like it's just in there. And like it's also interesting to me that you find like certain people who might be into like certain things, like people who are in like I don't know, like skateboarders and stuff. Like a lot of times they also like draw and like paint and stuff like that, and it's some sort of creative.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you have one creative outlet, it's just interesting because you're so creative and you create music, but you also have this need to do this other side. Like, is it like satisfying different parts of your brain?
Yeah, and that's what's cool. Like it would suck if it kept hitting the same like receptors as music, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges in a way, which is great because I like both of those fruits.
Yeah.
Delicious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fruit salad. Do you ever have like an art show? Is that like do you ever showcase all of your art?
Yeah, I had two last year, I think. One in LA and one in Chicago.
Do those feel like concerts kind of? Like does that feel like really, I don't know, like just kind of like cathartic, just
yeah.
you know, kind of releasing it or like letting other people interpret your art?
Yeah, they're fucking weird and they're awkward, and if I could, I would hire someone to be me to go to it.
Oh, okay. See, it's
I mean, it's like a concert. It's like a show, and the backstage is open for all your friends and some of their friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the beauty of a show is that you can say, okay, everyone please leave, we have to play now. Instead, at the art show, there is no escaping anyone. It's just constant fucking talking, man.
Oh man, I can see that. Yeah, and that's interesting too.
And it sucks. Good. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
You
You
go
go.
ahead.
I don't know. I was just gonna say it's nice. Like people are being nice, but after a while, it really wears you down. You know.
Yeah.
So to anyone out there, if you're gonna if you go see an art show and you want to talk to the artiste, try and do it in the beginning. Don't do it at the end of the night.
See, I was gonna ask. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, my thought is done.
Sorry, I feel like I keep cutting you off. I guess I'm just curious though, because from like, okay, so you create art that is interpreted by other people all the time, and I wonder if, from your perspective, is it, okay, this song or this piece, this is what it means, or is it like, you know, this is what it meant to me then, and it's ever changing, and everybody else's idea about it is also just as valid. I just wonder, because sometimes I feel like when trying to interpret someone else's art, I feel like a schmuck, because it's like, that's not really, I guess, you know, who am I
Well, no,
to
it's
say that?
cool. It's cooler to have your own interpretation on it, because I feel like the artist in this situation, right? Like, they'll let you know if they want you to know what they were thinking, you know?
Mm.
But I would assume that it's more... I would get more of a kick out of someone coming up and saying, this means something to me in this way, you know? Like, I think that's more... well, I can't think. It's better.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about this, about how that value, it seems so much more valuable when it's like if I said this song means this, then you're just segmenting so much. But I guess you can just, if people are creating their own value, then like that value is so much, is just such a great thing, I guess, you know.
That they're getting some sort of
creating.
like therapy out of it in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah. Well, the deeper we dive with you, Tim, it seems like the more value we get.
Well, we don't want to wear you out with all of our questions and conversations, but you know, like I said earlier, I'm a big fan of your like production and like the arsenal that you've you know, kind of created over the years. Do you have any production tips to anyone listening?
Oh, it's a hard one.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know.
something that maybe you struggled
It
with for a
depends on-
while.
Production tips. I guess be patient, you know? Don't rush it. I've sat on songs in like a state of unmixed for a long time, you know? And like going back and tweaking it every other day or every day until it was just right, you know? Because at the end of the day, that song's gotta be, you gotta be proud of that thing, man, you know? And that will live longer than you know? And like there's been times where I look back on songs songs that I've put out into the world that I wish I spent more time on. I don't know, I think it's a gut feeling too. Like sometimes you say, oh, it sounds fine, just to appease either the clock or your friends or your engineer or whatever. And I don't know, man, I think patience, you have a right to be stubborn and put your foot down with that stuff, you know?
Great tip that you just pulled out of your pocket there. I think that's just really helpful to anyone in that situation because you can drive yourself, you know, insane if you think like there's a deadline or whatever.
Oh yeah, the deadline is death, man. And like just be patient. Be patient with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, dude, man, thanks so much for talking to us, man. We really appreciate it. We're just big fans, so it's like super cool to talk to you.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks
for thank you.
Yeah, man. We usually end the thing with asking people with a couple of songs that maybe they've been listening to or particularly inspired by, just because we create this playlist for our podcast. So is there anything you've been listening to that you've been like particularly inspired by lately?
Yeah, the last thing was Basquiat, the artist, had a band called Gray.
Oh, I didn't
And
know.
I highly recommend. They just, I guess, re-released a lot of it. Yeah. I forget the name of like the collection, but Gray, Gray.
Okay, cool.
It's Basquiat's band with like a bunch of random, like, other weirdo New York artists who play on it and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll
But
definitely.
it's fucking cool. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that this is
There's
probably. I was just
Oh,
gonna
go
say, I
ahead.
know that this is probably not at all what it sounds like, but when you say Basquiat and like that the New Yorkness of him or something, I'm thinking Stomp the musical. No.
Stomp?
Yeah, just people banging on cans and pipes.
Yeah, it sounds like a more like industrial goth New York no wave stomp.
Oh, okay, perfect. So I was on the right trail a little bit.
Yeah, man, you had it. Yeah.
Nice. What's do you have a second one?
No.
Okay.
Fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. Hold on. What have I been listening to? A fucking shitload of Arthur Russell.
Oh, sweet, cool.
Oh, where'd you guys go? Yeah, because they just released that other one, fucking Iowa Dream. That other collection of songs. But yeah, a lot of that.
Sweet.
Oh, very cool. Awesome. Yeah, well, gives us some stuff to deep dive into, man. Thanks, we appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
Well, thanks again for your time, man.
Yeah, and just doing this, man. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, we'll see if you ever pop by Austin. We'll say hello.
Yeah, will do. Will do.
Awesome, man.
Thanks.
Later.
Dude.
Okay. All right. Bye.
How can I not
like
say
the Stone
your?
Cold Steve Austin.
Your. Okay. All right. If this is your first time listening, okay. See, then I sound. then I sound.